I'm sweating, it's crazy. It's time for an update. It's been a while, long while. Pumpkins were still in the greenhouse whenever I did the last update. Four minutes on 2 already. A little bit of Azos and some Neptune's Harvest 241. I didn't water Azos in prior to right now, and that was a mistake. But I'm doing it now, better late than never. For those of you who are new, my whole patch has a big cover on it in 2 sections that I raise and lower with the winches. Cover has the shade nets and the misting system on it. I don't know if you can hear it or see it. I have misting heads every 5 foot on center throughout this entire 3,500 square foot patch. 3,200. Well, 2,500 is covered in net and shade and misters. But the humidity in here right now, I am sweating. It's not hot, I'm just sweating because of the humidity. That is a big part of why I did what I did. There's other ways to keep the plants cool. Just a few misters would probably do it. But I wanted, with this net, I want to make a microclimate under here. And I have it hiked up right now, but normally it's 4 feet above the leaves. 4 feet above the ground, sorry. And that keeps this really damp in the heat of the day. Gives it better chance to these plants not to experience the heat stress. In Colorado, the humidity today is probably 20%, maybe. And I'll bet it's 60% in here, at least. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the fog? It's great. It's great. So we've got 4 plants. Let's start with the smallest to the biggest. So this right here, if you can see all that, from this side of the blue tent to here, and all the way up to this pumpkin, that end vine is a 1794 Deletus. I think that was the number. I haven't looked at it since I planted it. Pollinated this a few days ago. I haven't decided whether it's going to take or not. And then I have another one right there that I'll pollinate tomorrow, just in case. It's about 15 feet down the main. This plant I haven't buried at all, which is kind of a theme this year. I've been very lax on everything. Weeds. I'm always lax on weeds, but I haven't buried anything this year except for one plant, and I buried it late. So I'm not expecting to get anything real crazy, but I did get a couple early pollinations, so we'll see. This is the 1059 Pierce, and I have my pumpkin right here. It's about 10 days old or so. I'm guessing it took. Should be a very orange pumpkin, hopefully. Pumpkin doesn't look that orange. His was beautiful, but Either way, it's a small plant, late bloomer. Definitely not his fault, not the genetics fault. I just didn't start it when I was supposed to. Going the wrong way. I got vines growing over the planks. See, kids, if you bury your vines when you're supposed to, you don't have to let them get that out of hand. But I just buried those the other day. So you gotta let them grow a few feet past so the roots develop. I reckon that's around 150 pounds. It's about 25, 26 days old. Not growing real fast. This is the only plant that I buried vines on in a halfway decent time frame. I'd let them grow 6 or 8 feet long and then I'd bury them. So I've really only buried them a couple times. And they're not all buried, they're just mostly buried. So I have no top taps and maybe 60% bottom taps. So it's not good. By taps I mean tap roots, for those of you who don't grow. Growing giant pumpkins, these things have tap roots that grow out of the bottom of the vine at every leaf node, and a lot of pumpkins have that. Even watermelons will grow roots like that. But I've never seen a plant type that has taps out of the top of the vine at the same spot. So if you bury your vines, all those top taps come out, go into the ground, you get twice as many roots. That is why burying vines is so important. So why is that the only thing I haven't done this year? I've been busy. We'll just put it that way. I've been busy. Okay, let me go right back here. Alright, so looking here, that post right there is where the stumps are. 1183 number 1, 1183 number 2. There's a walking plank right in there, in that gap. That's the splitter. Both these plants are the full width, 37 feet. Both pumpkins are approximately 17 feet down the main, which is great. This plant is buried almost none. I'll bet 5% of the nodes are buried. I just let it go. Plus I had a vacation. I was gone for a week. So I just never recovered. If you don't remember what the 1183 is, that's my pumpkin from last year, my big one that we took down to Texas and blew up. All right. Here's the big dog. I say big dog, it's not that big. See my hand on it. It's a little over 150 now, theoretically. And in the mid-20s for days. So it's not really good, but it's not terrible. We'll just put it that way. It's tolerable. It's a tolerable growth rate, especially for not being buried. It's quite yellow, which is surprising because the pumpkin last year was pretty white, wasn't yellow at all. But I crossed that one last year, was pollinated with my 1246 line. That pumpkin has beautiful shaped, beautiful color, not real orange, but kind of a peach. So this must have maybe gotten the best of both worlds. I don't know. This has a very similar shape to last year, which is great because it had a great shape. Very full. I always love it when they outgrow blankets too. Makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. So let me know how you guys are doing. Drop a comment if you're having a good year, bad year. So here we go. Anyway, I got plenty of time. Don't have a whole lot of power behind the plants, but I have time for once in my growing career. So we'll see if that makes the difference.